This is Notes from a Small Mind, written and read by Keith A. Pearson.
Episode 4. The Unwritten Rules of the Male Changing Room. There are places we all frequent regularly, where the social contract is so fragile that one wrong move can shatter it entirely. A quiet train carriage, a lift with only 2 people in it, a post office queue. But nowhere is the contract more delicate or more terrifyingly easy to violate than the men's changing rooms at a gym or swimming pool. Not wishing to sound like a prick, but I've been visiting a gym for roughly 15 years, and in that time I've developed an encyclopedic understanding of the unwritten rules that govern the male changing room. Nobody teaches you these rules. There's no induction, no laminated poster on the wall. You simply absorb them through a combination of instinct, observation, and a primal desire to get in and out as quickly as possible without making eye contact with anyone. For the uninitiated, here is a brief summary. The towel rule. Your towel is not merely a drying implement. It's a shield, a modesty curtain, and your last line of defense against the outside world. The towel must remain strategically positioned at all times during the changing process. Mastering the art of removing underwear while simultaneously wrapping a towel around your waist is a skill every man needs. It's not taught in schools, but it should be. The eye line rule. Eyes must remain fixed at a height no lower than the collarbone and no higher than the hairline. This creates a narrow band of socially acceptable vision, roughly the width of someone's face, within which all interaction must occur. Glance below the band and you're a pervert. Glance above and you're avoiding someone, which is almost worse because now they think you're trying too hard not to be a pervert. The bench rule. If the changing room is empty and you sit down on a bench, any man entering afterwards must sit at least 2 benches away. Come to think of it, why is anyone sitting down at all when your immediate field of vision at that level will be full of other men's crotches, dressed or otherwise? The small talk rule. Conversation in the changing room is permitted, but only under strict conditions. You may discuss the weather, whether the gym was busy or not, or how cold the pool is. Under no circumstances should you attempt to initiate a conversation with a stranger whilst either party is in a state of undress. If a man you vaguely recognise from spin class says hello while you're wearing just your pants, a brief nod is sufficient. Do not stop and chat. He doesn't want that. You don't want that. Nobody wants that. The hairdryer rule. The hairdryer is for your head. Some men, however, treat it like a full body finishing tool. One leg up on a bench as they blast their nether regions with unashamed enthusiasm. This is not acceptable, and yet there's no mechanism to stop them. You simply avert your eyes, silently judge, and hope they don't try to make conversation. That concludes my list of rules. And though not always adhered to, they are universally understood. Or so I thought. Last Monday, I was standing at the urinal in the changing rooms, minding my own business in every conceivable sense of the phrase. My gym has a swimming pool, so it's not uncommon for blokes to wander up to the urinal in their trunks. That's fine. Trunks are basically shorts. Shorts are basically trousers. Trousers are the bedrock of civilized society. No issue there. But what happened next tested the very foundations of the social contract. A man appeared in my peripheral vision, and I use the word appeared because one moment there was nobody there, and the next there was a lot of somebody there. This man sidled up to the adjacent urinal with the casual confidence of a man who has never once questioned a decision in his life. He was stark bollock naked. Now, I should stress that the nakedness in a male changing room is in itself not unusual. We all have to transition through a brief window of nudity between one set of clothes and another. The key word, however, is transition. It's a temporary state, a necessary evil, like turbulence on a flight or the last 10 minutes of a children's birthday party. You endure it and move on. What you don't do is go for a walk in it. You don't take your nakedness on a tour of the facilities. You certainly don't march up to a urinal where another man is quietly getting on with his own business. I stood there, eyes locked on the wall, trying to process what was happening. The man showed no signs of discomfort, no awkward shuffling, no apologetic nod as if to say, "Sorry about all this, mate, but I was busting." He just stood there, free as the day he was born, went about his business with absolutely no self-awareness. I finished up, washed my hands, and left. Promptly. Am I wrong to feel that nude urination crosses a line? I've been turning this over in my head for a week now, and I think the issue isn't the nudity per se, it's the journey. This man left Liquid's shower cubicle or wherever he'd been and walked across the changing room, past the lockers, past the benches, past the hairdryers, and up to a urinal. Naked. That's not a transition, that's a commute. There's also the question of proximity. Nudity in a changing room is a necessary inconvenience, but there's an implicit agreement that you'll keep it contained to your immediate area, your locker, your bench, your small patch of floor. Nobody expects you to project it outwards like some kind of fleshy Wi-Fi signal. Standing at a urinal involves standing next to a stranger. This is already mildly uncomfortable when fully clothed. Remove the clothing entirely and you've created a situation that no amount of eyeline discipline can salvage. Perhaps I'm overthinking it. Perhaps this man simply needed a piss and couldn't be bothered to put his trunks back on. Perhaps in his mind, the changing room is the one place in society where the normal rules don't apply. A lawless frontier where a man can simply be unburdened by clothes or social convention. So I envy his freedom. I really do. But in the future, I'd rather he exercised it at the urinal furthest from mine.